Saint Augustine commentary on Psalm 137. But today we have sung, by the waters of Babylon we sat down and wept when we remembered Zion. Verse 1. Observe the waters of Babylon. The waters of Babylon are all things which here are loved and pass away. One man, for example, loves to practice husbandry, to grow rich thereby, to employ his mind therein, thence to gain pleasure. Let him observe the issue and see that what he has loved is not a foundation of Jerusalem, but a stream of Babylon. Another says it is a grand thing to be a soldier. All husbandmen fear those who are soldiers. But then other citizens of the Holy Jerusalem, understanding their captivity, mark how the natural wishes and the various lusts of men hurry and drag them hither and thither, and drive them into the sea. They see this, and they throw not themselves into the waters of Babylon, but sit down and weep, either for those who are being carried away by them, or themselves whose deserts have placed them in Babylon, but sitting, that is, humbling themselves. O holy Zion, where all stands firm and nothing flows, who has thrown us headlong into this? Why have we left your founder and your society? Behold, placed where all things are flowing and gliding away, scarce one, if he can grasp the tree, shall be snatched from the stream and escape. Humbling ourselves then in our captivity, let us sit by the waters of Babylon. Let us not dare to plunge ourselves in those streams, nor to be proud and lifted up in the evil and sadness of our captivity, but let us sit and so weep. Let us sit by the waters, not beneath the waters of Babylon. Such be our humility, that it overwhelms us not. Sit by the waters, not in the waters, not under the waters, but yet sit in humble fashion. Talk not as you would in Jerusalem. For many weep with the weeping of Babylon, because they rejoice also with the joy of Babylon. When men rejoice at gains and weep at losses, both are of Babylon. You ought to weep, but in the remembrance of Zion. If you weep in the remembrance of Zion, you ought to weep even when it is well with you in Babylon. On the willows in the midst thereof, we hung up our instruments of music. Verse 2. The citizens of Jerusalem have their instruments of music, God's scriptures, God's commands, God's promises, meditation on the life to come. But while they are dwelling in Babylon, they hang up their instruments. Willows are unfruitful trees, and here so placed that no good whatever can be understood of them, elsewhere perhaps there may. Here understand barren trees growing by the waters of Babylon. These trees are watered by the waters of Babylon, and bring forth no fruit, just as there are many men greedy, covetous, barren in good works, citizens of Babylon, in such wise that they are even trees of that region. They are fed there by these pleasures of transitory things, as thou watered by the waters of Babylon. You seek fruit of them and nowhere find it. Therefore, by deferring to apply the scriptures to them, we hang up our instruments of music upon the willows. for we hold them not worthy to carry our instruments. We do not therefore insert our instruments into them and bind them to them, but defer to use them, and so hang them up. For the willows are the unfruitful trees of Babylon, fade by temporal pleasures, as by the waters of Babylon. For there they that led us captive demanded of us words of songs, and they that led us away an hymn. Verse 3. They demanded of us words of songs and an hymn, who led us captive. We are tempted by the delights of earthly things, and we struggle daily with the suggestions of unlawful pleasures. Scarce do we breathe freely even in prayer. We understand that we are captives. But who led us captive? What man, what race, what king? If we are redeemed, we once were captives. Who has redeemed us? Christ. From whom has he redeemed us? From the devil. The devil then and his angels led us captive, and they would not lead us unless we consented. Those then who have led us captive, the devil and his angels, when have they spoken unto us, sing us one of the songs of Zion? What answer we? Babylon bears you, Babylon contains you, Babylon nourishes you, Babylon speaks by your mouth. You know not to take in save what glitters for the present. You know not how to meditate on things of eternity. You take not in what you ask. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Verse 4. Truly, brethren, so it is. Begin to wish to preach the truth in such measure as you know it, and see how needful it is for you to endure such mockers, persecutors of the truth, fools of falsehood. Reply to them when they ask of you what they can't take in, and say in full confidence of your holy song, how long shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? But take heed how you dwell among them, O people of God, O body of Christ, O high-born band of wanderers. For your home is not here, but elsewhere. Lest, when you love them, strive for their friendship, and fear to displease such men, Babylon begin to delight you, and you forget Jerusalem. In fear then of this, see what the psalmist subjoins, see what follows. If I forget you, O Jerusalem, verse 5, amid the speeches of those who hold me captive, amid the speeches of treacherous men, amid the speeches of men who ask with ill intent, asking, yet unwilling to learn. What then? If I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget me. Let my tongue cleave to my jaws, if I remember not you. Verse 6. That is, let me be dumb, he says, if I remember not you. For what word, what sound does he utter, who utters not songs of Zion? That is our tongue, the song of Jerusalem. The song of the love of this world is a strange tongue, barbarous tongue, which we have learnt in our captivity. Dumb then will be to God. Dumb then will he be to God who forgets Jerusalem. And it is not enough to remember for her enemies to remember her, desiring to overthrow her. What is that city? Say they, who are the Christians? What sort of men are the Christians? Would they were not Christians? Now the captive band hath conquered its capturers. Still they murmur and rage and desire to slay the holy city that dwells as a stranger among them. Not enough then is it to remember. Take heed how you remember. For some things we remember in hate, some in love. And so when he had said, If I forget you, O Jerusalem, he added at once, If I prefer not Jerusalem in the height of my joy. For there is the height of joy, where we enjoy God, where we are safe of united brotherhood and the union of citizenship. There, no tempter shall assail us, no one be able so much as to urge us on to any allurement. There not will delight us but good, there all want die, there all want will die, there perfect bliss will dawn on us.